Hello and welcome to the Daily Dulcinea. Today is August 21st, 2008, and on this day in 1911, the Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre in Paris. Chris, can you tell us about the events of that day?
Sure, Kate. An employee at the Louvre actually stole the painting. His name was Vincenzo Perugia, and he was working that night and had a hiding place and snuck out with it. And they actually didn't realize that it was gone until a day later on Tuesday because they thought that it was being photographed.
So what was the aftermath then in Paris? How did people react to
Well,
this?
this was obviously like it still is, but this was a legendary piece. And when it was stolen at first, everybody was taken aback and they were surprised and angry. But then the French temperament set in, and everybody kind of started to make fun of it, and they started making fun of the fact that it was such a big deal, and they started performing skits and jokes were made, and comic sketches were
Saying when
produced.
are they going to steal the Eiffel Tower next? Or...
Yeah, so they definitely made light of it and started joking around about it.
But so how did they find who did this? How did it come back to France?
Well, Perugia actually 2 years later, after the fact, he met with a dealer from Florence, an art dealer from Florence, and said that he had the Mona Lisa. He used a different name, obviously, and he also offered him 500,000 liras. But obviously, when this happened, the guy tipped off the authorities, and they quickly arrested him and found the Mona Lisa and brought it back into custody.
But Italy actually didn't think of Perugia as a criminal. They actually thought of him as a patriot.
No, and that goes back to the motive of why Perugia stole the painting in the first place. He thought that it belonged in Italy's possession because he thought that the painting took place, Mona Lisa's location at the time of the portrait was he thought that it took place in Italy. So he thought the right thing to do would be to have Italy back in possession of the famed masterpiece.
And how did they actually find, they had fingerprinting
Right.
technology at that time?
Yeah, this was not CSI Miami. It was, pretty, it wasn't good. Basically what they did was they only took the right hand fingerprints and
of a lot of people,
of a
and
lot
so they
of
had
people.
a database of people with only their right
Exactly.
fingers.
So that was totally skewed, and they could not even find it. So it was pretty ineffective. But
because it was the fingerprint was actually of his left hand,
Right.
of his left finger.
Right. So didn't really do much. And like you said before, Italy saw him as a hero because they thought that he was this patriotic guy who wanted to bring back the peace into Italy. And subsequently, after it was found, it did a tour throughout Italy for about a year. So it didn't actually come back into France until January of 1914.
So it was quite a while it was out of the country.
Right, but I think it ended up well. Like it could have been a lot worse.
Right.
So.
And now it's in the Louvre.
Yeah, presently it's at the Louvre, and like you said, you went and you saw
Yes.
the long line, but you made your way up front.
Way up front, right? It's actually very small in comparison to what you think it would be because you hear so much about it.
Right.
But impressive nonetheless. So thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
your last daily Dulcinea for a while.
Yeah, I'm going back to school, so.
But we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
And hopefully have you tape more.
Thank you.
So thank you again. And for more information on this story as well as others, please visit us at findingDulcinea.com. Thank you, and we hope to see you again tomorrow.